All right, looks like we're coming up here live here. Let's take a look outside. Here you go. Live look from my location in New Albany, Indiana. If you know where that is, New Albany, Indiana. I did just go on the back deck, by the way, and just measured 7 inches of the white stuff. Still falling pretty good. We're kind of in a little bit of a lull, but it does look like we're going to get more moderate to heavy snow before the transition begins. How are you guys doing tonight? This afternoon, I should say. It's been a long few days tracking this system in, and by no stretch of the imagination has it let you down. I mean, the snow has been very heavy, came in fast, and I think it kind of surprised a lot of people. I was watching the data coming in late last night, and with that, we were watching the data that came in last night, and it was coming in very fast, very hard. So I guess a lot of people probably a little surprised if you weren't listening, staying up late. A lot of people had taken those Louisville snow totals down. I know there was one local station, I'm not going to mention them by name, but yesterday, as of yesterday afternoon, they had a 2 to 4 inch forecast for Louisville. Louisville has almost 7 inches of snow on the ground at the airport right now. 7 inches, that's what I measured. Tell me what you're measuring. And then Richard says, why haven't they named this storm? The only people that I'm aware of that actually name winter storms nowadays is the Weather Channel, a convention they started probably 10 years ago or so. Yeah, it doesn't technically have a name. I think the Weather Channel is calling it something like Winter Storm Blair or something. But this storm is massive. This storm is enormous. Take a look at this. And let me know where you're viewing from, and let me know what you're seeing. Are you guys seeing big flakes? Are you guys seeing a transition to sleet yet? Big storm. There's a WSV3 radar. And that area of low pressure is still well to our west and southwest. Just now exiting eastern Oklahoma, moving into far northwestern Arkansas. You just look at the size of this thing. That snow band, that heavy initial snow band, now blasting into eastern Kentucky, into southern Ohio, into West Virginia, into western Virginia. But we just have a lot more real estate left here. In St. Louis, they've been getting absolutely hammered. They're going to end up with well more than a foot likely out of this system. Kansas City over a foot. Had some reports of close to 2 feet coming out of northern Kansas and northeastern Kansas. Massive, massive storm. Jason on here says we've got 8.5 inches in Jeffersonville. Okay, thank you, Jason, for that report. I've got Scottsburg here. You got to stick your ruler outside there, Debbie. Got to grab your ruler like I did just a couple minutes ago, actually. I'll show you that here in a moment. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. I think the kids are going to get a snow day, right? At least most kids. My kids weren't supposed to go back till Tuesday. I think that may be in jeopardy now because we still have more snow on the way. So during this update, obviously we're going to be talking about what's happening right now. We're going to talk about the latest snowfall reports. We'll take some live views. Going to take some viewer pictures too. I did put up a post on my Facebook page, and I'll share those pictures with you if you want to share them to that post I made on my main Facebook page. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to share with you what I took earlier. And let's go with old snow pick here. So I just took this snapshot, and I had my kind of low-rise snow boots on. And let me tell you, I need the big boys. The snow was coming inside my boot, and again, still falling. And I think we've got quite a bit more on the way. So this storm is going to be an overachiever for sure. I'm going to show you my. You got to turn your head sideways. How do we correct that? Well, it's 7 inches. You know what 7 inches of snow looks like, don't you? There it is on the ruler. You just have to tilt your head. All right. Anyway, I'd love to see your pictures. That post is on my Facebook page. If you'd like to share that, I'll be able to get those pictures up during this broadcast. Okay, I put a few on Team Capital page. It says David Gully, who's reporting 3 inches. He's reporting 3 inches out of Lexington. Jeremy on here. I watch and view all sorts of your comment left. All right, okay, all sorts of weather pages and outlets, and out of all of them, you have been the most accurate so far. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much. I try to. We're going to analyze this radar here in just a couple of moments. I'll come back to that snowfall map that I put out last night. Man, this was a tough forecast because we weren't sure when the sleet was going to begin and the freezing rain exactly, and the snow was not supposed to be quite as heavy on the front end. But let me show you my snow map. Oh, that's not it. Let's go back to the snow map. This is the final map that I put out last night. Okay, and boom, 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 boom. Where are you at? Oh, I just got to go dig it back up. Here it is. And I think we're going to end up pretty close. Pretty close. Not perfect. Bloomington, Indiana had 2 inches of snow as of 1 p.m. It sounds like the further north that you went, the less snow that you got. Okay, I'm going to come back to this. My snow map disappeared on me, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it. All right, I've got Debbie on here. She's got 5 inches in Scottsburg. 5 inches in Scottsburg. So let's take a look at the, this is our Radar Omega, and you can see a lot of precipitation has already come through. You've got a little bit of a lull into the Louisville area now, which is good because Louisville needs a break. Already, it's probably over 7 inches now, but as of this past hour, they were at 6.6 inches officially at the airport. Officially. And that number is going to continue to climb as we continue to watch more bands of snowfall as they begin to gear up and move to the northeast, where, you know, of course, they're expected to drop quite a bit more in the way of snowfall. I don't know why my whiteboard is acting up today, but it is. What are you doing? Lock position. And it seems like I'm going to need my whiteboard to start working today. I had it fixed earlier, and I don't know what happened. You are a linked source, it says. Maybe you should not be. And then let's try this. Okay, you gonna work today? There we go. There we go. All right, so there's that little bit of a lull working its way into the Louisville area right now. And beyond that, we do have plenty more in the way of precipitation. And again, almost all this is frozen still. Let me see. Into the Louisville area. I'm going to come on over to the actual local Louisville radar on this site. Let's go single site. And today we're going to look out of West Point. There we go. It's better. It's easier to see the banding that's occurring. Still, lots of banding occurring. There's the heavy snow from earlier. And again, it was really, really coming down at 2 inches an hour for a little while. And that's what really got my concern last night when I was watching the system ramp up is seeing those snowfall rates that weren't previously forecasted at the very beginning of the storm. But that was it. And that's the reason that we're watching that stuff add up out there so quickly here today. Let's go back over to our regular radar. Who do we have on the program? I'm going to check in with our YouTube friends as well. I've got 6 to 7 inches in Salem, Indiana. That's Michelle. Lorraine, wish we were getting it in Rochester. I think Rochester's going to kind of get skipped out on this one, although some pretty good lake effect coming downwind of Lake Ontario out towards Syracuse, Watertown way. David, what's my estimate in Cincinnati tomorrow? I think Cincinnati ends up with, at least a foot, more likely a foot and a half or more. Honestly, they're gonna get crushed because they will likely not transition over to sleet or freezing rain. They're going to remain all snow. That's going to be a real big storm. What about Kokomo, Indiana? Well, I don't know how much Indianapolis has gotten. I know that the further north that you go, you haven't received nearly as much as you have down here, the southern part of the state, where we've had, again, 1.5 inches, 2 inches per hour. I can go out to Indianapolis and see, what they're reporting so far. And we'll do that. And also, I will be looking for those snowfall reports. So if you all want to post any of them here, I'll be happy to share them. Northern Washington County, 6 to 7 inches. 7 inches in southern Louisville near Bullitt. So, yeah, a lot of that snow came a lot further south, heavier, early. But hopefully everybody heeded the precautions. They knew the potential was there. And hopefully everybody's able to hunker down here for a few days. I don't know how much traveling people are doing. I haven't been on the roads today. So far since I've got up this morning, the only thing I have done is work on this equipment so I can have this broadcast up for you guys. And hopefully you guys get something out of it. All right, here's my snow total map from last night before I went to bed. This is the final map. And it's not going to be perfect. It's not. In fact, Louisville's going to end up with, well, more than... I had them right at about 6 inches. I had Louisville at about 6. You can see right there between that 3 to 6 and 6 to 12. But they're going to go well past that, it looks like. Already about 7. They may pick up another inch or so, maybe another couple this evening before we transition. And then the sleet and the freezing rain is going to try to tamper that down a little bit. And then we've got another round of snow tomorrow. And I haven't diagnosed today's data, so I'm going to do that live on the air with you. But at the end of the day, Louisville could end up with 8 or 10. Nobody's perfect. I would have liked to have gotten that exactly. But that 6 to 12 that you see across, the placement of this 6 to 12 is really good. Now, what I don't have is that next tier that's going to be realized. That next tier, probably right up in here through Cincinnati. I like them. Parts of southern Indiana, central Illinois maybe. Right through here. That's probably going to be 12 to 18 or 18 plus. It's going to be a big storm for those guys. For Louisville, again, probably going to end up with around, I'd say 8, maybe 9, 10 inches of snow by the time all of this is said and done. Really kind of depends on how they measure, but because of the way they do measure at the airport, it'll add up that way. Because we've already locked in the 6.5 inches that was reported last hour. So even if it tampers back down, they'll start new and that'll add back up. So I can't see Louisville ending up with anything less than 8, probably like 10 inches of snow. Big storm. Hard to predict those northern amounts as we expected. going to be a lot less than than the models were saying, like Indianapolis, Columbus. Now you're going to get a few inches of snow. I think Indy could get close to 6 inches possible because they're going to stay snow for a while. But anyway, you did the best that you can. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys, and I'd be interested to see how all this shakes out at the end of the day. All right, see who we have on the program right now. It is 2:03 p.m. Eastern Time. It is 1:03 p.m. Central Time on this January 5th of 2025, 1/5/25. And by my calculation, it's the 5th day in a row I've done one of these live videos. I must love them or something. It is good to be back on. It is good. Let's take a look outside real quick, and then I'm going to take some comments, and then we'll go on to some model data here next. Let's see. This is the way it looks outside right now. Also, probably check over on our social media and see what reports are coming in, and see if anybody's responded to my Facebook post yet from earlier. All right, there we go. Here we go. I got 7 comments on there. All right, so Snowfall. I've got, outside of Bristow. Wait, Bristow. Where's Bristow? Bristow. You got to help me out with the state guy. 6 inches in Clarksville. Paynesville, Indiana, which is up north, just a couple inches so far. So much, LOL, I lost my four-wheel drive in my truck. 6 inches in Borden, 6 inches in New Albany, Deatsville. Everybody with a half foot. Everybody. That's fantastic. All right. All right, let's get back to those comments. Who do we have on here? I'm going to check in with YouTube in a moment as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your day today. Bradley Uhl. Thank you, Jeremy. We have 7 in Georgetown. That's what I measured here, just outside of Georgetown, actually. And, yeah. Okay, David Gully says nobody's at the church today. They canceled church this morning. My church got canceled. I was thinking about trying, but it was going to be hard getting back home. We would have got to church okay. 8 inches in southwest Louisville. That's outstanding. That's coming in from D. Yeah, Tanya on here, Columbus, Ohio estimate question mark. I don't think it's going to be much. I don't think it's going to be much for Columbus. All the data backed way down for Columbus. It's going to dive south. Honestly, they could miss. I mean, like maybe a couple inches. Maybe. Columbus is going to get a miss. Indianapolis probably get a fair amount of snow. They're a little bit further east. So they'll probably be in the money. Not quite like southern Indiana is going to be. Again, truly a historic storm for southern Indiana, far northern Kentucky. I think the bullseye out of this storm is going to be Cincinnati regionally, and the other regional city that's getting hammered right now is Kansas City. I need to get some reports out of Kansas City. I'd love to see how much they've got so far. And I'm monitoring my feeds here. I'll let you look at them with me. Let's come on over to my weather feed, and this is it's what we call a tweet deck. I don't know what they call it now that we've transitioned over to X, but this is a great way to monitor a ton of information all at the same time from multitude of sources. But everybody's doing the same thing. They're sticking their ruler in. Where's this one? That's 7 inches in east end of Louisville, and again all over the place. We're seeing those type of snowfall amounts. 6 inches there. Here we go. Where's this? National Weather Service just issuing a statement there. What's that video doing? Okay, he's just talking about driving safety tips and all that stuff. Hopefully everybody knows not to go out there and get all crazy in this. And the ice hasn't even began yet. So anyway, we'll continue to monitor all of that. All right. So how much more snow? We gotta go to where the actual data is taking us. The sleet line is beginning to make its way closer to the Louisville area. You can see Evansville's beginning to mix over. Bowling Green, you should be mainly freezing rain at this point. I know you woke up with quite a bit of freezing rain this morning. So that'll be interesting as that continues to progress here as well. You can see here, we're pushing it around. So that transition will happen. Might be another couple of hours depending on where you're at. Louisville, maybe into southern Indiana, and points to the east. It's going to take a little bit longer, so it could be, early evening, 4, 5, 6 o'clock for some people. But as early as, the next hour or two if you live southwest of Louisville. Let's see what the high-res models are saying about the situation at this point. We were looking at some of that high-res stuff that we were looking at last night. Started coming in super, super aggressive with those overall snowfall totals, but especially on the front of the system. But there's more to it than that. This system is going to be more than just a front end. It's got a full back end that we're going to be dealing with too, which I think the back end will likely deliver, somewhere in the order of probably another 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of snowfall, depending on your location. Still trying to figure out exactly where that back end is going to come from. So I'm loading that information now. Let's go on over to the old European forecast model. It's now showing the euro is going gangbusters in Louisville. Take a look at this. And this is a total snowfall according to the euro. Here it is. Now it's going 13.5 inches in Louisville. It's going about 16 inches for Cincinnati. And somebody's going to get 1.5 foot out of that deal. But these things change. These ideas change. This was not the idea 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, here's what the euro was showing. Quite a bit different. Quite a bit different. It came down. It got stronger right over our eastern and our northern borders. Let's see how that compares to the latest run of the HRRR. So what this can do is it can tell us how much more, not that one, it can tell us how much more snowfall to expect. This is the highest resolution model that we have at our disposal. And so for short-term stuff, this is about as good as it gets. And it's picking up on what's already been put down. Why is that just... Okay, so let's go to the current run here. And how much? We're going to go for total snowfall. And it looks like it's a little shy on that front end. It only picked up 5. And we're not fully rendered out the rest of the way yet, so it's still a guessing game how much more in that regard. Now, as far as the transition over to sleet and snow, well, let's look at that. See, I'm going to go precipitation and reflectivity. Let's go on over to precipitation type. There it is. All right, this is probably our best bet here. All right, so here's the situation as we speak. 19, what time is it right now? 2 o'clock. All right, so 17. So this is where we are right now, right at 19. And let's go forward in time. And you can see it's got sleet reaching southern Jefferson County next hour. But you go forward 2 hours, and look at that, snow makes a comeback. Okay, and that makes sense because if you have a heavier burst coming from above, it's going to pull that back down to snow. It'll pull more cold air from above if you get into a real good burst. So while we're in the lull, it looks like we may eke in a little bit of sleet. We go back to snow, possibly heavy snow, by 5, 6 o'clock. And then there's the convective band. Oh, this stuff's going to get super heavy. Super heavy. And this is sleet and heavy convective snow. That's when you could have lightning and thunder. Lightning and thunder possible during this. And then we're going to watch that convective band. It keeps it as all sleet. It looks like across southern portions of Indiana, that freezing rain moving into southern Jefferson County. And again, all heavy snow out here for our friends up in the Cincinnati area. And so when I say that we're likely going to see some lightning and thunder with the snow, there's a good reason for that, because you know what's happening to the south right now is that they're watching some strong to severe thunderstorms, which we can take a look at. But all that moisture, and these are going to be thunderstorms here. All of these are thunderstorms. Some of those in Tennessee could be strong. And then all that moisture and that instability gets funneled up over top of the dome of cold air, and boom, just like that, you've got thunder sleet, thunder freezing rain, and you got thunder snow. And so I think that's what we're looking at here by around 6 or 7 o'clock this evening. If we're able to stay all snow, the areas that are able to stay all snow, I think even the European model is underplaying this. It won't be 13 inches of snow. It'll be more. That's if it can stay all snow, which I don't anticipate for Louisville. You're going to have several hours, it looks like, of sleet and then freezing rain later this evening, and then light freezing rain overnight before we get into the backside of that storm. And the backside of that's going to bring us, again, another little round of snowfall tomorrow in the morning. Here's the NAM, that's the high-res NAM, bringing back over the snow by around daybreak tomorrow, actually before daybreak, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., you're back in snow, and then moderate snow tomorrow. Late morning, midday, and then ending during the afternoon. I could easily see an extra 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of snow right there alone. So whatever you end up with this afternoon and this evening, you just add another 2 to 4, and that may be what we're looking at. All right, with that, who do we have on the program, and how is your Sunday going? Anybody get out there? I've got 10 inches in central Kansas. That's near Abilene, Jeremy. Thank you, Marcia. I used to work out there. I don't know if you watched me when I was in the Topeka market. But yeah, awesome. David, my public page would be best. Thank you. You want to know where to post pictures at. I've got Jessica 6 inches in the knobs. It's my sis. Okay. And then look at that. 7 5/8 by Josh Thacker. Man, you're getting very precise with your measurements. We'll round that up to 8. Okay, Josh, you got 8. All right. Let's check in with our friends over on YouTube. You guys plan on adventuring out today? What is the plan here? All right. I've got Rick on here. We have about 5 to 6 inches in Jeffersonville. Rick on the YouTube. Alexander on here. He says Nashville saw ice this morning, about 1/10 of an inch. Saw some reports of 9 inches of snow reported in Bowling Green. Really was on a level table. Saw that in Ryan Hall Y'all's stream. Ryan Hall Y'all needs to give me some love. He needs to send me over a few of his subs, is what needs to happen over there. He's got too many. He does a great job, though. All right, fantastic. Thank you for those reports. It's about 2:16. I'm not going to make this a real long one because I wanted to do another update once we get closer to that next band that's going to be coming in as we head towards this evening. So I'll probably wind this one down here in the next 5 minutes or so. And I want to thank you guys for being on. If you don't mind, a quick like and share. Help to propagate these videos. It helps to give me the means to come back on and do more of them. I'm going to take you back over to our other radar. This is Radar Omega. Here you go. Showing you some of that banding that's been occurring. Also shows the current air temperature in Louisville, 25 degrees. 25. Lots of cold air still in place. Louisville will not go above freezing during this entire event. It's 29 in E-Town right now, but Bowling Green's right at freezing. So their freezing rain's about to transition to rain. And look at that. You guys know what short a distance it is from Bowling Green to Hopkinsville, right? Well, Hopkinsville, well, I don't think that's right. It's reporting 48 degrees. That can't be right. Never mind, it's not. Yeah, the rest of these temperatures. But this is right. Jackson, Mississippi, 55 degrees. So that's an impressive spread there. All right, let's take one last look outside of my front yard here. There we go. Yeah, it's falling, just not too heavily at the moment. And they need to shine a light on the situation over there at some point, though. All right. Well, it is. It's about 2:18 Eastern time. I'm going to bring this down for the time being. I've got to go run an errand or two, probably shovel some snow. I thought that's what we had kids for. And then I'm going to watch that primary band. It will be the primary band. What we saw earlier was a lot of snow, but this next thing that's going to come in is going to have the lightning. It's going to have the thunder. And then you are going to see all the snow, all the precipitation types minus rain. Sleet, freezing rain, and at times heavy, heavy, wet snow. So this should be fun. And stopped for now in Bullitt County. All right. Well, there you have it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me during this little special session. I'll be back here in a little while. You guys stay blessed, stay warm, stay safe on those roads. We'll talk to you soon.